My attitude about most everything was lousy. This negativity placed me on the wrong side of Supermom. Supermom was everything I was not. She was a walking checklist of desirable qualities: tall, skinny, tan, blonde, blue-eyed, and attractive. She wore stylish clothes, hailed from a well-heeled family from Connecticut, was married to a rising star orthopedic surgeon, had graduated from Harvard with a degree in English, was an avid skier and tennis player, was a great cook, and was fluent in French. Her 5-year plan, after her son and daughter, ages 4 and 3, reached school age, was to start and run a charitable foundation directed toward issues of poverty among women in sub-Saharan Africa. Supermom was the rare person who required no more than 4 hours of sleep at night, and she was able to utilize the extra hours each day for things such as keeping up correspondence with a seemingly endless list of people who often visited her. She was also the type of stay-at-home parent who would actually do rainy day activities with her kids, such as painting, clay sculpting, and messy glue projects with feathers and glitter. Before the park incident, I had been on cordial terms with her, placing her in the category of being otherworldly, like a two-dimensional superhero character ready to take on the world and never requiring a potty break. Supermom was slow in meeting us that day, but she did unfortunately come. It was late afternoon, and the twins were fighting over a broken sand scoop. I said several times, "Claire, Maud, can you play nicely and share?" Unfortunately, 3-year-olds have short memories. My patience ran thin. Around me were packed kids, moms, and nannies, all of us trapped in a hot asphalt park, not yet ready to return to our cramped Upper East Side apartments. At any point in time, at least one kid could be heard crying or screaming. I had nowhere else to take the girls that didn't cost money. In Manhattan, circling the block cost $5. I had an hour to kill until Liz finished up at the hospital and we could go to our Friday dinner at Mandarin Deli. She had been working a boatload of hours since starting her surgical fellowship at the hospital for special surgery on July 1st. It was one of those days, a crabapple day. The problem was that now most every day was a crabapple day. The novelty of being a stay-at-home dad had worn off. I was still looking for work, but had few job leads. That day, I had received another rejection call from another second interview. While I was feeling sorry for myself, a grimy boy, maybe 4, peed in the sandpit. I looked around for his keeper, but no one seemed to be with the kid. The kid pissed for about 5 seconds before other people started to notice. The sandpit cleared. "Whose kid is this?" I shouted. "He can't do that here." Ignoring me, he finished his business. Suddenly, a grandmotherly woman pushed through the crowd that had formed and screamed at the kid in a language with many hard consonants. She tugged at his arm and dragged him away. Eventually, kids began to settle back into the sandpit, keeping clear of the area of drainage until it dried. I suggested to my girls that they move on to the jungle gym. I got no argument. My friend Goodhart had finally gotten to the park with her daughter, Sammy. "Some kid just peed in the sandpit. Do you believe it?" "Our pediatrician told us to avoid the sandboxes in the parks. Rats play in them at night," Goodhart said. "Do you let your twins play in the sand?" "Not now, I'm not." Goodhart had a gap-toothed smile, which she hoped to rectify as soon as her husband completed his medical fellowship and they could afford cosmetic dental work. I lost sight of Claire and Maud as they blended into the swarm of kids on the jungle gym, despite having distinctive curly blonde hair. No matter what I was doing in the park, I instinctively looked for the kids every 30 seconds. The thought of not knowing where the kids were scared me. Goodhart understood my need to chase after the kids. I was learning that it was rare to have a full conversation with another adult. Maud and Claire were hidden beneath the jungle gym arguing with a slightly older kid over a bike with training wheels. Maud was straddling it, demonstrating her imaginary ownership of it. She pulled against the boy's grip on the handlebar. Her loyal sister yelled, "Our bike!" I said, "This bike doesn't belong to you. You have to ask him for a turn if you want to ride it." Maud kept pulling on the bike. She was not going to yield.